Welcome to this evening's new moon manifestation workshop. We're having a bit of a brutal time with Venus in retrograde. She just hit her star point yesterday, if I remember correctly, or the day before. The days are all blurring into one. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but the star point is that coming out from the underworld, which is where we can't really see her in the sky, and she goes from being the evening star to the morning star, and this is what the star point transition is. And she's just done it, bless her. She's just done it. So this now is this really huge transformative time for rebirth. I keep getting images of the phoenix, and as you may have seen, I've really come out in full flaming red, because I do feel as if the rebirth shift is happening for quite a lot of us. And I feel like the divine feminine at this moment is being called to step very proudly into a wild woman energy. And something you'll watch from my business from here forward is that things are about to get very wild, very divine, and a little bit horny, shall we say, because things need to change in my life. I've recognized over the last kind of couple of days, and hopefully you're noticing in your life actually how things need to be changed. And I think one of those things is women stepping into sisterhood again. And I wanted to mention Venus in the beginning here, because she is, of course, the most divine of all planets, I would say. She is the feminine of the planet. She is the Aphrodite, the planet of love, the planet of attraction and harmony, and all of those beautiful divine feminine qualities that we should be embodying. But a lot of us feel very fearful to embody because we have been told not to be women. We've been told not to be our full embodied selves. We've been told to water ourselves down, to be smaller, to be quieter, to be meeker, to say less, to follow our patriarchal systems in some way, shape, or form. And this is something that I feel this year has been building, and I'm starting to get goose pimples because God is agreeing. But this year has been building to what feels like standing on the precipice. For me particularly, hopefully you guys are there as well. You beautiful ladies are there as well. You know, that we're standing upon this precipice of this divine feminine energy that's been rising for the last year or so, where we've been called to follow our own sensuality. We've been called to follow our own divinity, our own pleasure, to step into our own goddess-like nature. And this is the route that I will be taking for the rest of the year and for the rest of my life, really, is to step fully into being the embodiment of the wild woman that I am. And I hope that by doing that, I will allow you guys to also do that, for us to embody that wholly. And part of my pathway has been being very open and honest about being a witch. You know, the witch wound runs very deep in a lot of us, where we feel this fear of being truthful and honest, you know, and it was the patriarchy that put asunder, you know, the women that gossip and the women that, you know, come together in clans, and that womanhood, that sisterhood. And something that I really crave in my life, that you as women may agree with, is that you also crave that sisterhood. And something that I'm looking to create over the rest of the year is actually to bring in some form of sisterhood, which you'll have noticed with these kind of weekly, monthly meetings where we can come around the moon. You know, we as women are moon cyclers. We're followers of the moon. It is the men that follow the heliocentric, the sun-centric model, because their hormones run in a 24-hour cycle. They wake up and their testosterone is high, and it makes them, they go and do things in the morning when the sun is there, and then by the evening their testosterone dips and they go to sleep. And that is with the sun cycle. But originally we followed the 13-month calendar, which was a calendar of 13 months of 28 days that followed the moon cycle, which was the matriarchal cycle. And that moon cycle is listed within the Farmer's Almanac because we are on a feminine planet. Just like divine Venus that I was discussing a moment ago, the earth is a fine, beautiful woman. She is a woman. The sun is a man, and he embodies that divine masculine energy. When I say man and woman, oh, obviously I don't mean human embodiments, but the energies of. And Earth is a feminine mother. And the reason why things are so out of sync and so out of kilter in our world is because instead of following the true matrix, okay, the word matrix coming from Mater, the mother, we are following a false matrix, which is based on the patriarchal system. And this is why so many people are sick and tired and the world is being destroyed, because we have to come back to the mother. And to come back to the mother, to do that, we as individuals have to come back to the divine feminine within ourselves, which is a very difficult thing to do, because we as women have become very strong in the masculine because we need a father, a husband, a warrior, a protector in some way, shape, or form for us to be able to be safe to fall into the feminine. And many of us don't have that masculine role in our lives. We don't have strong fathers. A lot of us have got abusive fathers. A lot of us don't have husbands because men are a little bit wayward these days, or we have had so much trauma and so much pain that we have stepped outside of being able to have those deep, vulnerable relationships with a man. We haven't got somebody to hold us as a safe space to wall in like a seawall that violent, wild, beautiful expression of emotion that is like a hurricane, an ocean, a tornado, a tsunami. Without that, the wild woman is unsafe to be. And so what we do is we shut ourselves down and we become our own masculines. We become our husbands, we become our fathers, we become our own divine protectors, which is fine. But how many of you are exhausted in living in that way? Because ultimately you are not supposed to be living as a masculine. You are supposed to feel safe to express your emotions, to sit in your intuition, to sit in your feelings, not up here in our logic and our thought and our action and productivity and do and capitalism and this heliocentric male-led version of life. And something I've been working on this year is to step into my soft self, which has been very difficult for me because I'm a bit of a hustler. I've always been a bit of a hustler, a bit of a workaholic. And I needed to recognize that that was me in my masculine, that was me in my wounded feminine. So something that I would like as a kind of rally call for the women who are watching this video, and of course for the masculines who are here as well in the replay, is for us to wonder how we can come back to ourselves. And talking about the Venus star point that has just happened, there is this beautiful opportunity for rebirth, for us to see what does not serve us anymore and to step into a new way of being. Because every time that sun goes down, we have a new opportunity to begin in a different manner. And often a lot of us wake up and we just keep doing the same thing over and over, and we hope that we'll get a different way of doing things, but it never happens that way. And so like the Phoenix, like Venus going into the underworld and then coming back anew, setting as the evening star and coming back as the morning star, what is it that you would change in your life? What is it that needs to be changed in your life so that you may step into your authentic self? What part of you needs to die? It reminds me of the story of Odin, who hung himself upon the tree and sacrificed himself to himself. What small human part of you needs to die so that you can step into your larger goddess-like self? And often it's egoic attachments to something in some way, shape, or form. The label of, like me, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a hustler, I'm a workaholic. I could do things like men do things. I've got balls bigger than most men. All of those things I would have identified with, but fuck, is it nearly bloody killed me trying to live like that. So where is it that you have an attachment, you know? And if you're triggered by anything I'm saying, if there's something inside of you that feels antsy about something I'm saying, that's an opportunity for self-reflection, because at that point when you're triggered, it may be because your ego's bounding up against it. Like, hang on a minute, we don't challenge our labels. Don't challenge me that I'm not as good as men, or don't challenge me that I'm not a hustler. Don't challenge me that I shouldn't be a workaholic because I'm a woman. I don't think anybody should be a workaholic, personally, but women should be much more living in a soft life, following the intuition, following the divine feminine, empowered nature. And right now, this new moon that we're experiencing on this beautiful day, which you're obviously here for, it's in asking you to embrace intentions that embody the Leo energy that the new moon is about to rebirth in. And if you know about astrology, Leos are very, very strong, passionate, beautiful, authentic individuals that very, very much let their light shine out in the world. Very sociable creatures. You know, that prideful creature in an authentic and beautiful way. And from a very young age, we've all been taught to judge each other, as women particularly. You know, they want us to be like girls, you know, mean girls. They want us to tear each other down, judge each other, be fearful of each other. And there's that phrase that queens lift each other up, but girls tear each other down. I think there is a call to women of my generation at this point to step into a new leadership role for the girls that come after us. And as somebody who's identified as somebody quite youthful, I've always been like, I'm a girl. I'm just a girl. I don't know what I'm doing. And I do feel like there's a call for us to step into womanhood, to step into that role, to lead the girls that come after us, to change things, because our mothers may have not done it for us in the way that they should have done. And it's time for us to embrace our authentic selves. And I think truly, if we are truly honest with ourselves, we'll recognize that somewhere there is a part of us that we've closed off because we're fearful of being judged, because we are frightened that it will be too loud, too big, too brash, that people won't like us if we are truly who we are. And I put out a rally to you sisters that actually, when we all walk authentically together, we all encourage each other to walk authentically together. When you shine, I feel safe to shine, and vice versa. And when we as a generation decide that we will no longer partake in the things that destroyed us as teenagers, it will stop those habits continuing for the girls that come after us. And so the role feels rather heavy, but I would like to remind you that this is not just this role for the third person, this imaginary girl that walks behind you, but also for the ancestors that came before us. I was talking to my business coach last night, and she was saying about that we as women are some of the first ones in our lineages to be able to make choices for ourselves without being upon pain of death or pain of being beaten or divorced or thrown out or whatever. 100 years ago, a woman like me probably would have been beaten for being too loud. 200 years ago, I definitely would have been burnt at a stake. The idea that these things were so close in our lineages, and that we as women are some of the first for probably about 1,000 years, maybe 2,000 years, for us to be able to own property, to be able to own businesses, to be able to step forward in such an empowered position. I recognize when she said this to me, it gave me chills, because I was like, fuck. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, the women, the hundreds, the thousands of women that came, that stand behind me in my ancestry, are watching me going, do it, girl, because they never got the chance to do it. And I think this is a beautiful thing to remember, and it's giving me chills, because we are standing at the beginning of a line for our ancestors. We are the ones that are leading the way now. And what is it that we're doing, sisters, with this beautiful power that we have? And are we embodying it? Are you embracing the opportunity to be a wild woman? To do that which our ancestors would have dreamed upon and would not dare even speak of, for fear of being beaten or murdered or left to the wayside. And I know it's easier said than done when it comes down to judging ourselves or judging others. But what I'd like you to think on and ponder upon is self-love and acceptance. You know, what does it truly look like for you to fully accept yourself? Who are you when no one is looking? As you all know, I'm neurodivergent, and I realized that last year that I'd spent 30 odd years masking, and it's so tiring. And last year, the last 12 months, 18 months, I've been doing the really heavy process of untangling that which I thought people wanted me to be, masking, and what I actually am. And it's a difficult process. But the question that has helped me is, who am I when no one is looking? What do I do in the privacy of my room? Who am I when I do not feel the scrutiny of judgment? And then little by little, I have brought her and her wildness, her loudness, her vivaciousness, her quietness, her aggravation at points, her difficulty, her timidness, her sexuality, her frigidness, her prudence, her repression, her desires, her fear, her sorrow, the tears, the laughter, all of it. I've slowly but surely brought it out into the public. And with every part of myself that I've brought into the public, that inner child who was told that she was too much has healed. Every single little bit that comes forward, opportunity is an opportunity for more healing for me. And I would say it's probably the same for you, perhaps not in such a large way. Perhaps you're not a neurodiverse person who's been pretending to be somebody else for 30 years like myself. But we all do it in some way, shape, or form. We all have masks. So I wonder where you are being insincere, where you are being inauthentic, and where every time you put that mask on, the inner child inside of you dies because you're telling her that she's too much or not enough. Now, this new moon in Leo is a beautiful time to reflect upon where you diminish your light so other people are not intimidated by you. It's that thing. Are you intimidating, or are they just intimidated? And if they're intimidated, that's upon them and their own ego. Nothing to do with you. And nothing needs to change in you. How much of your self-worth comes from external validation? What are your greatest fears when it comes to loving and accepting yourself? Are you able to give from a place of generosity without needing something in return? What steps can you come back to to embrace yourself in a more authentic and loving version. And these are some questions I would suggest you ponder. And I will, if you're not part of my Goddess group, make sure that you send me a message somewhere, wherever you've connected with me. Send me a message. I'll send you a link to my Goddess group, and I'll put these prompts, these shadow work prompts, into the group so you can access these. And if you're not aware of shadow work, don't worry, I'll pop a podcast up for you as well to teach you about how to do shadow work. And if you're interested in doing any of those things one-to-one, let me know. Send me a DM and we can book in a free call. Now, today, I want you to see how good it can get. This beginning, when we recognize that we're being inauthentic, when we're being hard on ourselves, when we have shut ourselves down, this feels, ugh, doesn't it? It feels a little bit yucky. It feels heavy. It's like, oh my God, fuck. I've been pretending to be somebody else for ages, and now I've got to do it for the girls that come after me and all these other bitches that stood behind me that didn't do it before me. Oh, it feels really heavy. Yeah, I've got to change all this stuff. You know, that is a big burden. But I want you to think about how good this can get. How good can your life get when you step into yourself, your full, wild self? And so, my darlings, how about we do a little meditation? This one is a little hypnotic meditation. So I would beg you now, my sweet angels, to get yourselves comfortable, to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, turn off those notifications, get a comfortable pillow, lie yourself down. If you don't want to lie down, then sit comfortably with both feet on the floor, with your hands in your lap, back straight. Make sure your back is supported. Get very comfortable. And how about we do some quantum jumping together? A time now to slow down. Shake off that excitement of the day. I'd like you to close your eyes for me when you're ready. And take a deep breath in. And if you have not had hypnosis before or not meditated before, don't worry, these are just labels. I will lead you in this as much as anything else I do. And all you need to do is breathe deep. Focus on my voice. Do as you are told, whilst I hold a safe space for you in this moment to explore the quantum realm, explore yourself, explore the opportunities that may come in for you as you step into this wonderful, beautiful future that you and I can craft together as we move into a new beginning, a new world, as we, like the Divine Mother, births us from the eternal womb of the cosmos, and the difficulties we have felt this week, the ups and downs, the labor pains that have come upon us as we birth ourselves back into a new carnation. We recognize our divine power to become the creators of our own lives and to lead from the front. And so take a deep breath in and out. And again. And out. And just resume deep, slow breaths that feel natural to you. And if you lose your concentration at any point, just bring yourself back to wherever you feel that breath in your body. You may feel it as a cool sensation between your nostrils on the top of your lip. Could be in your chest, the rise and fall of your belly. Wherever that breath is, just allow that to be this breath that anchors you from the moment you're born into your meat suit to the second you leave it. That breath will anchor you into this world. And will always be a beautiful opportunity for you to come back to your center, to calm, to this meditative state. And as you breathe deeply, I'd like you to imagine a golden white light that is coming straight through space, all the way down, out from that deep, dark cosmos, this golden light that's coming from the source, the creator, the divine, whatever you would like to call it. No religious implications required. That which birthed us all. That divine light that comes down through the ether, down through the stars, through all those planets that are retrograde, that are causing us all issue, down through the atmosphere, through the blue sky, through the roof of your house, down through the ceilings, straight into the top of your skull, like a warm, gentle kiss from Sky Daddy himself. Straight through, filling your skull, down through your throat. And now this is like pouring like warm butter into the vessel that is your body. And as it goes, it clears all stress, all pain, all suffering, all tension, anything left from the day that makes you feel like shit. Releasing it, just kissing it away like a warm bath. Just pouring its way through that warm golden light as it moves down through your chest cavity, into your stomach, down through your hips where we hold so much tension, so much pain, so much stress, into your legs, down straight through your calves, and through the bottom of your feet. And by the time it reaches that ground, it turns into this delicious, viscous red. And this delicious, viscous red is going to go all the way down, down through the gravel, the concrete, the earth, straight down to connect with the magma core of Mother Earth, her deep heart beating, warm, red. And you are now divinely connected to the center of this beautiful planet, the Divine Mother, Gaia, Mother Earth, Mama, whatever you would like to call her. She is now pouring her energy in from the center of this planet up through your feet as our beautiful Father Sun pours his light through the top of your head. And you divine creature, are the amalgamation of these two beautiful energies, the Divine Mother, the Divine Father. You are God incarnate. You are the axis, the divine meeting point, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And upon this new moon, you are more powerful than you have ever recognized possible. You are the divine creator of this realm, born in the image of the mother and of the father, the light bringer, the creator of life, the birther of all things, with a lust to create for creation's sake. To create is to live. To live is to lust for more, to be more, to have more, to do more, to see everything, to live and experience all this glorious world has to offer. From sex to chocolate to dancing to walking barefoot in the sand to feeling the sun's rays kissing your face, to sunsets, to birds calling in the sky, to the smell of the roses, to making money, to laughing, to drinking, to eating, self-pleasure. All of these beautiful, wonderful things that we all get to experience on a daily basis because we have been incarnated into these beautiful, tactile, wonderful meat suits so we can play the game of life. And upon this new moon, we have an opportunity to step into a new avatar. And in the cosmic soup of one's mind, the darkness that lies behind your eyes, I would like you to visualize who you are right now. This individual of however many years, whatever labels, whatever titles, however we see ourselves, with all those imperfections that we all pick upon, those things, the scars, the hangnails on our cuticles, the hairs in places we don't want them, the skin that's saggier that we would wish, the small wrinkle that may be appearing or has already been there a little while, the grey hair, the frown lines. I'd like to see yourself within your mind's eye, the embodiment of everything you see yourself as right now. This wonderful human being who has every single day of your life had your back, has gotten up, climbed out of bed, no matter how hard it was, no matter how painful, no matter what they were going through, they got up and they did it because you're still here. And I'd like you in your mind's image to see that person whom you judge so harshly for something so facile as a wrinkle or a scar or a stretch mark, a mole, a laugh that is too jarring, a hair out of place, a hangnail, rough cuticles, dry skin, whatever it is, those things we all judge upon ourselves. That poor person who has every day had your back, no matter how you've treated them, no matter what you've said to them in the mirror, the lack of food, the lack of sleep, the lack of love, the lack of kindness, the lack of self-care, the punishment, all the things we do to ourselves. That person has every day gotten up and had our backs. They've walked, they've worked, they've tried, they've stumbled, They've cried, they've laughed, they've loved, they've had their hearts broken. And yet still, there they are, standing. That avatar that you are embodying in this incarnation, in this game of life, that you have so ruthlessly played. Or perhaps we could take a second. And as the player of the game and not the avatar, perhaps we could notice what is so fucking fabulous about this avatar that we have been playing. This tenacious, strong-willed, vibrant, wise character who, despite our admonishments, our negativity, our cruelty, our ruthlessness towards them, has saved our arse time and time and time again. And I'd like you to imagine yourself just saying thank you to yourself in this moment. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being for everything I ever needed. Thank you regardless of my cruelty, regardless of my lack of care, regardless of my kindness to you. My often continuance of bullying that started with some other person. Those reels we play to ourselves that started in the playground, or a well-meaning or full-meaning parent or teacher. Don't laugh like that. Boys won't like you. Don't wear your hair like that. It looks silly. Don't talk too loud. You're too big. You're too much. You're not enough. All of these things that have been dictated to us. We have continued as if they were universal truth. How about, sisters, we step into a new paradigm? How about we change our avatars a little? I want you to imagine if you were to embody your highest self, what would she look like? What would he look like? How would he hold himself? How would they hold themselves? How are they standing? How do they feel about themselves? What kind of things do they say to themselves in the mirror in the morning? What things do they love about themselves? What energy do they embody? And I'd like you, as if you had a rubber in your hand, to take from your present avatar, the one that's beaten down, that's tired, exhausted, and that's been slightly battered by life. I'd like you to rub those things out. And as you rub them out, I'd like you to imagine this new avatar self stepping in, this new character, this new you stepping in, this shiny, new, brand new you, coming from this rebirth with this Venus point, with this new moon. The rebirth, as if that phoenix that was forged in the fire has gone in and now come back out. And by God, is she glistening. She's on fire, sparkling, confident, beautiful. In love with herself. Knowing that every day before now she's had her own back. She is her pillar of strength. Strong, capable, beautiful, intelligent, self-aware, conscious, capable, creative, sexy, passionate, desired, wanted, in demand, self-assured, embodying every part of who she truly is, that deep authenticity that comes from self love. What does she look like? How is she holding herself? How does she sparkle? People sparkle differently when they love themselves. The true glow up begins on the inside and ends up on the outside. Watch that glow up happen in your mind's eye now as you birth the new self, the new you, who is capable of doing anything you want with your one life in this incarnation, stepping joyously towards that which brings you bliss, that which brings you pleasure. And as you watch this you, as she begins to sparkle and glow, I would like you to take that consciousness that sits behind the darkened eyes, behind in your head, the you that is the observer. And I'd like you to step into that new character, the new you, the new improved, you 2.0, 3.0. Maybe you've had so many births and deaths, you're on 17.0, whatever. This one is going to take you very far. Like a new shiny red Ferrari. This one, everyone will be looking at, and you'll be glad for it because you know you deserve to be watched, because you're special and powerful and unique. And every person that came before you in your ancestral lineage is standing behind you, cheering that finally someone did it. That you can become anything you want to be. You just have to put your mind to it. And as you step into that new you, that new skin, that new self, that feels so incredible, empowered, confident, beautiful, vital, full of sparkle and joy. I want you just to take a second to imagine what it is that she could do with her life, what he could do with his life. Now that they know that you truly believe in them, what bliss would be found, what pleasure would be had, what dream would be conjured, what life would be created, what mediocrity would be destroyed, who would be cut off, what would be let go of. And I'd like you to take a deep breath in. Now that you have stepped into this unconditionally self-loving self, empowered and magnetic, drawing in a life that is incredible, erotic, that you are waking up in the morning horny to live, lusty, greedy for, wanton, with tiny little grabby hands, excited to take on each day, knowing that you have got your own back and that you are the incarnation of the Divine Mother and Father, which means that you are everything in the cosmos from here to infinity. And we're going to bring this new avatar self back. And I'd like you to take 3 deep breaths in your own time. And when you're ready, I'd like you to begin to wiggle your toes. And wiggle your fingers. Slowly bring yourself and your new, beautiful, shiny, glowing avatar self back. This one who is filled with passion and lust for life and confidence that they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Bring them back to this room as you begin to open your eyes and reintegrate yourself back into the room. And take a second as we've just journeyed from the cosmos, from the depths of our own minds, from the magma-filled Earth's core and the depths of the infinite universe. Come back to the minute room that we live in, the embodiment of the physical self. And we can take a second to be grateful to ourselves that we have partook in this routine, this regime, this magical experience, this manifesting workshop, as we have resounded to the universe. I want more, I deserve more, and I'm going to have more, and I'm going to get what I want and be what I want and have what I want. And the universe will respond in kind because it must. Like Veruca Salt. Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa. You can get your Oompa Loompa if you want one. Start behaving a little bit more like a brat. Because you're going to be spoiled when you step into your power and realize who the fuck you are. So, I hope you enjoyed the workshop. With this new moon, there's an opportunity to rebirth with every new moon. And hopefully you'll be back for a new moon with me next time. And if you're interested in stepping into your power, into your divine self, just reach out, because I have an array of things that you can do with me that will allow you to step into being a wild woman, whether that's joining Coven, which is my witchcraft seminar, 9 weeks of depth of tarot, astrology, of stepping into your divine self, of learning the laws of the universe and how to manipulate them like the Illuminati do. I don't tell everybody about my secret, not so secret coven. Or perhaps you'd like to work one-to-one with me or have a tarot reading. Whatever it is that you'd like to do, get in touch with me, because I'd love to work with you.